Hey, good evening to everyone, and welcome to the National Level Career Orientation webinar. This is Dr. Prasanna, and thanks Barcode Biotechnology for inviting me as a resource person for this lecture. And before we get into the orientation process, I just want to give a glimpse of the opportunities available for bioscience students. Okay, and the objective of this presentation is to gain clarity on your career goals. Yes, it is very important to have one first and identify the skills required for meeting the goal, and then we can explore the potential of other options to skill ourselves and strategically meet the goals to get what we want, and finally we can adapt ourselves to the evolving trends in life sciences. So I will walk you through step by step how to orient yourselves towards a career goal. This is for UG, PG, and also for PhD scholars. So before going into that, let's understand what is Barcode Biotechnology. It's India's most affordable DNA sequencing services. They provide both Sanger sequencing and Illumina sequencing, and they are also well known for their 1,000 barcode objective. They have a vision of barcoding 1,000 species in 2025 that is yet to be barcoded. For more information, you can visit their barcoding channel. So they founded in 2013, and they are on right now they are more affordable sequencing service in India. They have a mega-based 1,000 sequencer and ABI 3700 XL model. And Mermaid for PCR primer synthesis is the bread provider for the company, and they have a two PCR workstations. And these are the various services provided by Barcode Biotechnology. They provide DNA sequencing services to identify microorganisms like bacteria, archaea, fungi, mushrooms, and also multilocus gene sequencing services, viruses, even for insects. They are pioneering barcoding services with maximum turnaround time within 3 days. So insect barcoding, animals, aquatic animals, even meta barcoding, community samples can be barcoded. Even in forensic science, even animal fecal material can be used to identify the species name, especially for threatened species like birds. You can simply dry the dried species sample can be used to identify the birds. Similarly, plant barcoding, even herbal authentication, you can simply detect whether you want to find a particular plant species present in the herbal formulation or not. Even an air barcoding, you can simply collect the particulate materials from the air and decode the entire diversity from that. Okay, so focusing on our career orientation, we have enormous number of ministries supporting bioscience research in India. Each and every ministry of government ministries have various laboratories. So if you want to sum up the total opportunities, it is very huge actually. And especially after COVID pandemic, the number of positions and opportunities in bioscience is exponentially increased. Okay, there are public sectors, public private sectors, demanding more number of people in R&D for jobs and for various other activities. Okay, so instead of exploring everything, let's focus what we want. So for any UG, PG, or PhD scholars, I feel these are the three opportunities they can provide. They can either get into job industry or they can get into higher studies. PhD students can get into postdoc, MSc into PhD, and UG, BSc into MSc. Okay, or they can have their own startup. Whether they when they don't like a job or a higher studies, they can have their own startup. They can dedicate the final year of their graduation into launching a startup that can be a product based or service based. So what I will do in forthcoming slides, I'm going to narrow down our approach into these three sectors. Okay, so before that, you need to acknowledge the fact that by 2023 bioscience industry all over the world is around $1.6 trillion industry. Yes, pandemic has played a vital role in such a huge value for biosciences. All this $1.6 trillion, which is projected to increase to $3.9 trillion by 2030. Not much difference, no? 2030. We are going to see that it is around $4 trillion industry, which can be segregated into seven major types. Okay, genetic research, Drug discovery and development, especially of during COVID time, this is something very important. Even now, we don't have a treatment process; we just have a vaccines. Bioprocessing and manufacturing or biofoundry. We have product testing and clinical trials, service-based industries, marketing and sales, distribution, patent services, customer and patent services. These are, they are significant seven sectors from a biological services that is contributing to the economy. All right. So if you ask me the near future, the future skills required to, be a part of this seven or $4 trillion industry by 2030, these are the skills I would say. Precision medicine. This is something, based on the genomics data. Now the precision medicine is something picking up. So if you have a skill on NGS sequence analysis or DNA sequence analysis, you will be valued in the market. And DNA barcoding and various eDNA startups are coming up. These days, just 1 liter of the aquatic sample can be used to decode the entire diversity of the ecosystem. That's happening. Artificial intelligence in biosciences. We cannot forget the recent Nobel laureate from AlphaFold. This artificial intelligence in protein structure prediction made a huge revolution. And yes, microbiome gut-brain axis. We are trying to understand the role of microbiome in health and gut replacement therapy, and many more researches are gaining importance here. Climate resilient crops. Many startups, even in Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms in Bangalore, you will see many more startups focusing on producing resilient crops. They are future focused startups, uh, being launched every day. And industrial and environmental biotechnology, synthetic biology especially is gaining much more importance. Vaccine production, even in the this year's CSR exams, you should have seen even in last year exams, the questions on immunology and vaccine production is keep on increasing. That shows the government's dedication in producing skilled labor towards that aspect. So that is very much important. Functional foods. Most of our budgets are these days directed to food industry, which is ever expanding, and bioinformatics and also biopreneurship. Okay, even I am seeing many entrepreneurs are getting into bioinformatics, service-based startups. Just send them a machine output file, they will do the analysis and they will give back the data. Because in many Illumina platforms, you will see producing a data cost us 20,000 rupees per sample. Again, we need to spend the same amount for analysis. Okay, we need a configuration system or Amazon web cloud services. We need to take it to, for analysis. So it's another booming area. So this is an ideal example. Before I talk about career mapping, this is an ideal example. See, Serum Institute of India was a startup in 1966. The major breakthrough came when they start providing affordable thermostable vaccine. Now they are $1 billion industry from India. It's an ideal example that once you identify a local need and the global potential of that local need, then you can, if you can through your R&D provide an affordable innovation, you will definitely see an economic success. This is an ideal example for a startup. Even in Bengaluru, you will see many of the MSc student. I know this student, Mr. Uday Prakash from MSc Biotechnology. They are doing very decent business. They are filing GST, selling their products. They are not depending on job industry, or they are not into higher studies. They just make their product. I know this student, he spent his fourth semester research project into developing this project, and he has launched it. Similarly, I can show you, this is he's actually right now in the second, he just completed second semester. He's into third semester MSc Microbiology. They are also providing various products, and these products are very famous around North Bangalore. Okay, so I'm seeing many students are getting into such a startups and they are seeing very good success. So when we want to match up with what's required in our field, application of AI is something we cannot neglect, because it is accelerating data processing, maximizing the efficiency, and improving the decision-making process. IBAB's big data biology, the competition for MSc program big data biology is keep on increasing. So all these things are to give you a glimpse of what's happening, because I want you to pick a particular domain. Okay, be sure whether you are in the final year of UG, PG, or PhD, take a decision right now, because this is not going to be a one-time webinar. we are going to do 3 more webinars for this specific domain, for job, for higher studies, and for startup under Barcode Academics. This is going to happen. So at this end of the webinar, we have designed a Google form actually to direct you to choose any one of this industry. Okay. So at the 5th semester, or when you are doing an UG, or in your in 3rd semester of PG, or final year of your PhD, take a call whether you need a job, higher studies, or startup. Because based on that, we can orient you. For example, here is an example of a message I received from a student has shared me. She does not decide where she wants to go. After MSc, she tried for a lot of foreign PhDs. See, they basically reply you something like this: your application has been carefully considered and other things. Qualification more closely matched criteria needed to be for the project. So they have other candidates. Simply, they are saying if you don't have a paper for higher studies, especially when you transcend from MSc to PhD, better have a paper. And if you're transcending from PhD to postdoc, there is no question at all. Okay, if you don't have a paper, you are not going to find a quality postdoc. Okay, I'm not just talking about a paper. When you have a paper, better you have a famous paper that could be cited multiple times. So our next objective is to focus on individual. If you can choose in the last year what you want to do, we can direct you to get what you want. For example, here is a student who wants to join a food industry because she feels that the food industry is ever expanding and they will have a good market. She definitely want to join a food industry. So ALS testing lab in Bangalore is very famous for that, and she want to join that. Okay, when she was checking the RQs from that testing lab where she wants to join as a QC lab technician, and she found that she need to have a certified food safety handler certification, which her institution is not providing. So she went out, she did a course, she certified herself, she made sure that her MSc project was directed towards obtaining uh, it is towards the food microbiology. So she gave one interview, that's it, she got placed. Okay. So this is an ideal example how when you have a focused effort, you can easily, place yourself. Here is another student who had a focused effort and he got placed into this industry also. Okay, I can give you multiple examples because they have chosen in the last year what they want. Okay, clearly they have worked towards that and they got it. So for career mapping, to choose a particular career, you should know the role, what you want to play after your graduation. It is simply, there is no substitute for that. Okay, for example, whenever I ask a student what's the role you want to play, so they will just say, I want to be a QC in that company. No, that's not enough. Okay, you need to know the name of the role, responsibility, the division which the division that is hosting that role under which company. For example, the career mapping form we are going to circulate after this webinar will have following questions. For example, your full name, WhatsApp number, what is your graduation? Okay. And that is followed by whether you are preferring an industrial job, academic job, or higher studies, startup, what kind of, these are all generalized questions. But here at this point, we will ask you to choose one. Either you want a job, higher studies, or startups. Okay. This from here onwards, the questions will be channelizing towards a particular role. For example, if you want a job, we want you to clearly tell us, okay, people choosing job will not see the questions for higher studies and startup. People choosing startup will not see the questions for jobs and higher studies. But I will walk you through all the questions that we have in this form. Okay. So if you are mapping for a particular job, all right. So we want to clearly tell what kind of role you have. If the role is not listed here, you can choose other in the last option and list it out. Okay. And what kind of role you want to play, which company, what is the title of the job. Then we asked you to post the hyperlink of a particular role. Okay. What is this particular role? Okay. See, for example, you should not say that careers.amul.com. I want to get a job as a QC in Amul. So that's a generalized website. If we go to the website, there are 188 jobs. No, select a particular job role and then post the hyperlink here. Okay, let me explain you what it is. If you want to be a QC in Biocon, okay, Biocon is a generalized word. There are more than 20 Biocon companies, 20 types of companies. and 40 different departments in 100 and something, 20 countries they are present. For example, you see there are Biocon Biologicals, Biocon Biosphere Limited, Biocon Generics Health, Biocon Limited, Neo Biocon, Biocon Academics, Biofusion Therapeutics, Biosimilar Therapeutics. So you should know which division you want to get a job. Just Biocon is not enough. Even under a particular company, you will see downstreaming department, division of upstreaming, biosimilar production, which department you want to work or which role you want to do. Say if we want to be employed in QC, in insulin production department, this is what we need. Okay, choose your particular role and tell us clearly what is the requisition ID and what is the role ID. Then we will select that and study the role. The hyperlink above here is actually for a specific role. This specific should be your target. This is the first thing you need to do if you want to go for a job. Okay, so after understanding all the 24 activities or skills you require to apply for this role, then you go for the application. Okay, what Barcode Academics is planning to do is when you have a particular role, we are we are working to channelize your goal towards various stages in the work plan. Okay, we will formulate a work plan, different stages. We are also planning to give a certification courses in this aspect so that your job hunt will become easy. That's why in the final semester of third semester PG or fifth semester of UG or in the final year of your PhD, clearly target a particular role in the company and then work towards that. The career mapping form that we are circulating in the comment section right now is towards that. Okay, so this mapping and every stuff is done by Barcode Academics. They are interested in nation building. They don't charge you for all those things. Please make use of this service and benefit out of it. Okay, so after understanding the role, you are supposed to upload the CV in here. So if you are choosing a higher studies, what do you want? You want to do higher studies in India or outside? For example, if you are doing an UG program, you want to do higher studies outside. Which fellowship you are choosing? There are Marie Curie fellowship for Germany. There are Max Planck fellowship. There are Fulbright fellowship. Which fellowship you want to choose? And is there a English exam testing essential for those fellowship? What is the nature of the master program you are choosing? You need to orient yourself very clearly before filling the form. Otherwise, you need to do this job. You will see even for the jobs in many companies, the first question they will ask is, why do we want to pick you? Meaning, did you do the homework for this role? That's what they're asking. Whenever they ask you, how do you fit in our company? They expect you to study the company. They expect you to gain the skill, then come for the interview. Okay. The reason most of the UG students will not pass the interview is because of this lacunae. Okay. You need to pick a particular role, skill yourself, and then target the particular job. All right. So if you're going for your master's, better go for a fellowship, full fellowship based masters. I'm seeing many students taking loans, especially for UK. The normal fee will be around 35 to 40 lakhs per annum, and another 40 lakhs for your food and shelter. Then there are already the slim markets are there. Job picking is very slim right now. So they are spending 4 more years after 1 year program to fill in, replenish the loans they have taken from India, and they literally got stuck like this. Okay, it's not recommended. Have a full-time scholarship before pick the scholarship. Work towards that. If you want to pick a scholarship, I would say at least 1 year if you want to work towards it, because all scholarship have they call it a scholarship package. Okay, you need to prepare a proposal, have a research publication, choose a mentor in your academic department. Here authentication process, many things are there, hardly takes 1 year. Okay, so maximum 1 year. So you need to start working before your fifth semester begin. Choose a scholarship, choose a particular degree and works towards that. If you are PG students, there are similarly many more scholarship. You are required to have a research publication. Okay, there is no other option. It would be nice if you can choose a particular professor lab under a scholarship, for PhD program during your third semester PG. Okay, you may be a M.Pharm student or M.Tech student or MSc student. Better choose a particular professor. Try to formulate a research gap from the professor's field and answer the questions. Okay, your research publication can be formulated around a particular research gap prevailing in August 2025. Okay, collaborating with the particular target university and its professor. If you have a publication, it will be easy or smooth transition between the labs. Okay, after your master degree. If you are a PhD, definitely you need to have multiple research articles with good citation numbers to get into, other European countries for your PhD. Okay, so if your higher studies, choose wisely and start preparing for it. So our subsequent there is a webinar plan for higher studies, startups, and jobs. We are going to dive fully into that. What are the opportunities available? We will update you. So I will also share Barcode Biotechnology's WhatsApp channel. You can follow that to see when these webinars are organized. Okay, so if you are planning to do higher studies in India, for UG students, there are 5 exams, more than 5, but at least 5 exams you can focus. There are TFA GBL exams during December, and you have a IIT JAM exam in February. You have a GATE exam in March, GATB exam in March, April period. You have a CUT exams. Okay, all those exams you can approach, and you can each and every exam have their unique possibility, which we will discuss in depth in subsequent webinars. So those exams better clear it so that you can have access to a cutting edge infrastructure, and your financial needs during your master program can be taken care of. For master students, we have CSAR net, UGC net, ICAR, JRF, ASRB scientist, and you have ICMR, JRF. You have various and DBT beta exam, BET exam for PhD. If you're clearing it every month, you will get a stipend directly from Delhi, and you can easily do your focused research. For selecting a particular research topic, we have one more. That's why for higher studies, it will be culminated inside that. We'll have one more webinar for that. So right now, this career mapping form will be circulated in the comment section. Do fill it. We will have specific webinar focusing on these individual sectors like higher studies, startups, and jobs. So for abroad, we need to know which lab under which professor you are going to work, based on which your research question and publication can be formulated for easy transition. These are the exams we have discussed, and yes, even some higher studies abroad will require English exams, IELTS, TOEFL, GRE. What do you want to do? You need to be very precise. So all these services are provided by Barcode Academy for free. We are, as I said, they are interested in national building. So hence this webinar was organized. Okay. The Barcode Biotechnology not only organizes just webinars, they also do certification program in skill building. For example, this is upcoming program day after tomorrow, 7th August. Sorry, 2 days after. We'll have a 7th August program, and this program is actually consists of 5 day training. This is because mostly after getting a sequencing results, many customers come back saying how to analyze a machine output file, how to extract a DNA sequence, how to know a species name using DNA sequence, how to build a phylogenetic tree complementing species identification, how to measure the genetic distance between the reference sequences. So what we did, they have formulated a program, 5 day program, starting from analyzing raw data and sequence extraction and consensus building. So they will be teaching you 5 different softwares: BioEdit, Promaslite, online softwares like Blast Analysis, ClustalX, and Mega softwares. They are all being used to train the student and certify them under this. These are hot record skills in many DNA sequencing industry, where the bioinformatics division actually take care of these analysis and prepare species identification report to be mailed for the customers. Okay, so that's for that's all for now. This webinar, I think, gave you a glimpse of mapping your career. I hope this was useful. We are not going to stop here. The e-certificates for today's attendance will be provided as a Google form. Please fill it to avail the e-certificate. A career mapping form will also be circulated. If you are interested in this certification process, a registration link to certify for this program that is starting on August 7th will be provided. And like I mentioned, there will be another program webinar for focusing on higher studies, startups, and jobs. There will be 3 different webinars that will be followed. If you want to get the updates on those webinars, please do follow the WhatsApp channel link that will be provided in the comment section to keep yourself updated. Thank you for joining today. Thank you.